Hello, my name is Sophia and this is my video response number 2 for my propaganda model assignment. In this video, I'm going to talk about the propaganda model, a theory created by Edward S. Herman and Noam Chomsky. They introduced this idea in their book titled Manufacturing Consent, where they try to explain how news and media systems work in modern societies. And their main argument is that the news that we see are not completely neutral always, and this is because the structure of media organizations can influence what information gets reported and how it is presented. To explain this, they developed something called the propaganda model, which describes 5 filters that shape news before they reach the public. The first filter is ownership. Large media companies are owned by big corporations, and since companies are businesses, they try to avoid stories that could harm corporate interests or create financial problems. The second filter is advertising. Media organizations depend on advertisers to make money. And because of this, they usually avoid content that could scare away advertisers or make the companies feel uncomfortable. The third filter is sourcing. Journalists need information quickly, so they rely on official sources from government officials, corporations, or military leaders. And this information is easy to access, but that also means that often the news could reflect the perspective of people in power. The fourth filter is called flag, which basically means backlash or criticism. If a media organization publishes something that a powerful group doesn't like, it might be facing things like lawsuits, political criticism, or public attack. And because of this pressure, media outlets often avoid certain topics. And the fifth filter is ideology. When Herman and Chomsky first wrote about this theory, they say that anti-communism had a huge influence on the way news were presented during the Cold War. And a similar situation can be seen nowadays with topics like national security or patriotism that can shape how stories are framed. Overall, their main argument is that these 5 filters of ownership, advertising, sourcing, flag, and ideology influence the information that reaches the public. And because of this, the news that we often see and reflect and have a big influence of powerful organizations such as the government or large corporations. A good example that we can see nowadays is how media covers wars or political conflicts. And this is because journalists rely heavily on sources from the government or military sources. So that means that the news that we consume have a perspective that is most focused on the government side, that criticism or other point of views. Personally, I think this theory is still very relevant nowadays, because even though the media changed with the rise of technology and social media and the internet, the large corporations and the news have a big influence in shaping the way people receive information. Overall, I think that the propaganda model helps us understand how economic and political pressures can influence the news, and that's why it's very important for the audience to be very critical when receiving an information, and don't always believe in what the information knew, but thinking critically. Thank you.